What up everyone, it's your man X-Man87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is my top 15 list of Marvel Legends that need updates. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now in my last channel update video, I did mention I wanted to do a top 10 Marvel Legends wish list of villains and heroes, but before I tackle that, I wanted to do this video specifically because normally when I do my wish list videos, I set a rule of doing it where I list just characters that were never made before by either Hasbro or Toy Biz. So in this video, we're just going to tackle the updates. You know, figures that Toy Biz and Hasbro made in the past that we are in dire need of them bringing us updated versions of those figures. So if I do a top 10 villains wish list video and don't add, let's say, Mandarin, I don't want y'all coming at me and telling me why I didn't put Mandarin, because he was already made before. So this is a category where he would belong. You get what I mean? So just want to make that clear. By the way, I'm sitting in my throne and I put locks on these wheels, so hopefully I don't fall over, as you know that I fell over out of excitement in that March 1st fan stream reveal from the Doc Ock reveal. Oh man, I went absolutely berserk. So yeah, my figures here are an absolute mess. It hit the support beams in the middle of my display and knocked everything over. So yeah. Sorry for the destructive, chaotic looking display behind me, but hey, we're here now. I just busted my leg. It's badly bruised, but you know, no worries. I'm a trooper. It's no biggie at all. You don't need to wish me a speedy recovery. I'll get through it, but but I just want to let y'all know I'm good. Some of y'all have been asking me if I'm good, but it was funny because in that video, Shartimus commented that he related to falling off the chair, and I do remember him falling off the chair onto his display many years ago, and that gave me a flashback. That was funny as hell, and I totally forgot about that. So I figured, hey, this will be a great discussion video to engage in and create some buzz, because I love creating buzz around the line. It's my favorite action figure line of all time. And, you know, sometimes we get some blunders in the line and we'll say, oh, this is trash or garbage, or why did they do it like this? Why didn't they do it like that? And sometimes we gotta appreciate the good that they do, you know, because that March 1st fan stream, they reminded us of who they are and what they are capable of doing. And, you know, I was reminded, you know what I mean? Because lately there was like a run where it's, especially last year, it was rough, you know, and you know, we're just like, oh man, when are they gonna pick it up again? And they had a strong showcase, and let's hope they keep following, you know, with banger after banger reveals. So anyway, with that said, let's go! Alright, so let's pull up my iPhone here because I jotted it down, because if I try to go off the top of my head, I'd probably forget a few names. And so, 5 honorable mentions. The first one will take up 3 slots, and that is the Savage Land set that they did back in 2008. I want to say it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So I would love to see updated versions of Kazar, Shauna the She-Devil, and Zabu. I think now they can really do a better job with Zabu. That one was a little too cartoony. It had more of a animated looking kind of aesthetic. It's like if he came out of an animated series of some sort. It was weird. But Shauna the She-Devil is definitely one I'd love. And I know it's not going to be as like skimpy or revealing as the 2008 version, because that one showed a whole lot of cake cheeks and a whole lot of breasts. So I don't think we're going to, you know, get that kind of version again, but it would be nice to see an updated version of her, and especially Kazar too. That would make a great remastered kind of set. You know what I mean? Next one is Bucky Barnes, and he hasn't been seen since the Brood Queen Build-A-Figure wave, and he's just an important character to have next to Captain America. So I feel that with the reveal of the Bucky Captain America, I feel like we might get a classic Bucky Barnes that'll shortly follow after that. My last honorable mention would be the Iron Man Thor Buster armor, and originally I wanted to include him in my main list, but I don't like including repeated characters in the same list, so I already have another Iron Man armor on that list, and we'll get to that later. But I think with the Destroyer reveal, this would be a great opportunity to capitalize on a Thor Buster figure. They can retool the arms and the legs because that Thor Buster armor doesn't have the spikes going down the sides like the Destroyer armor. So they can retool it to just keep the segmented lines. And I think he would be great as a BAF. So a future BAF would be awesome. I don't think he needs to be a deluxe or in a 2-pack. I think a BAF would be really, really sweet. All right, now that my honorable mentions are covered, I just want to let you know that the list is not in any kind of particular order, but my number one is my number one. So let's get straight to it. All right, so at number 15, and again, in no particular order, this is just to help me keep track of the list, is, well, I mentioned him before, Mandarin. And we haven't seen him since the Toy Biz Face-Off days. And man, do we need Mandarin all these years, giving us great Iron Man figures. We still don't have his arch nemesis, and man, he just needs to be done. And unlike that Toy Biz figure, Hasbro needs to do it right and make sure it's a soft goods cloak that they're using for him, because that cloak that Toy Biz used was horrible. It just made him feel like a action figure. You couldn't do anything with him. So just like Dwight said in the fan stream, they'll only use soft goods when it makes sense. This is the time to do that. This is where it would make sense, because we're in a day and age right now where we're getting posable wired capes from Mattel. So no excuses to why Mandarin shouldn't sport that. You know what I mean? So we want it to be posable. We want our figures to look dynamic. So if they have a cape, we want that cape to look dynamic and posable just like the figure. It just complements the posing. And I really, really hope that they experiment with more soft goods. And I think Mandarin would be best offered in the Iron Man Retro Series packaging, because that packaging needs more love like they give to the Spider-Man, X-Men, and Fantastic Four. At number 14, I have the Iron Patriot, and I think this was pretty much a given when they revealed the Extremis Iron Man. The last time he was seen was, I believe, the Ironmonger Build-A-Figure wave. And so, he would just be a great offering to really kickstart our Dark Avengers team, because they really never got around to it. We got Ares and I believe the Ken, and that's another one who needs an update, by the way. But they need to get the Dark Avengers team done already, especially that Dark Miss Marvel. Man, I want that so bad. So that needs to be done, and I think a new Norman Osborn head would be great. I mean, they could just use the same one that came with the Retro Green Goblin series, and maybe give it a face print deco. Iron Patriot and Dark Avengers is a must-have on the shelf. At number 13, I got Black Bolt, and this is an easy one, man. The Vulcan body is the perfect physique for him, and they just can't do this shit like they did last time, where they sculpted the wings on him, because this is just absolutely horrendous. What makes them think this looks cool when you put them in a vanilla pose and the wings are sticking out like that? You know what I mean? Like, this is why sometimes I scratch my head and think of things they did in the dark days that they did better than they did now, because in the dark days, they did Black Bolt in the Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave, soft goods cape. Fabric was keyed in the sculpt, and he was able to pose like you want him to do in that area. And I don't know why they didn't do it with this, Like, again, it's just one of those things that why didn't they look back and say, well, we did it better back then? we can't just go backtrack and do it worse now for an update. It just makes no sense to me, you know what I mean? So, Dwight, if you're watching this video, keep your word, man. You say make it make sense. So, with Black Bolt, you gotta make it make sense, my guy. Then number 12 is classic Adam Warlock. I felt like we should have gotten him when they gave us the classic Thanos. I would love the classic black and red outfit, because I was never a fan of the gold and red outfit. I just feel like the black and red really brings out his yellowish, goldish skin tone out more. A regular sized Infinity Gauntlet glove would be really cool to pack with him. He was last seen in the Target exclusive Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave back in 2008. And, you know, again, those were the dark days, so we really need a updated classic Adam Warlock in our cosmic display, and I wasn't really feeling the last modern style Adam Warlock that they came out with. So this is the time to really give us the Adam Warlock that we all need on our shelves. At number 11, this is a character that I've been wanting an update for so long, since the 2008 Fin Fang Foom Build-A-Figure wave, and that is my boy, Doc Samson. And the one thing that's really gonna make this figure is heads and hands. Now, heads and hands will make any figure, I get that, but especially for this character, you know, we need expressive, explosive kind of expressions, like punching hard. We need him smiling. We need a neutral face. You know, we need a you know, that kind of face. You know, we need expressions for this guy, and definitely hands. You know, fists, open hands, grabbing hands. And this is actually a great time to introduce a new kind of medium beefy body. I can see them reusing the Hyperion legs for him, because I mean, those are good looking, thicker, muscular legs. I just hope they don't go with that upper torso on Hyperion. I'm not really feeling that upper torso the more I look at it. So this is a great opportunity to add a new medium upper body. They could probably give him a ball jointed waist, since, you know, he's got that belt area that can hide it real well, and pinless muscular arms too. I just think that this figure would present some good opportunities for, you know, other characters of his stature down the line. At number 10, I have Annihilus, and this was part of the first ever Marvel Legends line under the Hasbro banner, as he was the Build-A-Figure for that wave. And I believe he was produced mainly under the Toy Biz days, and he just never saw the light of day under the Toy Biz line, so he made it out in the Hasbro line. And I'm looking at that figure right now, and I always thought that figure didn't need an update because it looked so beautiful. But now it's time for an update. I just think the only thing they won't top is the paint, man. That dry brushing was so spot on. It was beautiful. And I love this character so much. And I actually love the way that Toy Biz did it in the 90s vintage toy line, because he's this little, you know, insectoid that's in his chitinous armor. You know, he's got the power of the cosmic control rod, but it was so cool that you can pull out the insectoid out of the body. You know, you can have him as like a separate figure. So it would be really cool if Hasbro can do that, where, like, you know, you can, you know, remove the insectoid out of that body and have a different, like, little articulated minifigure. I'm asking too much, right? I'm asking way too much from Hasbro. I know they won't do that. I know they won't. But, you know, just being hopeful, you know what I mean? So I know a lot of fans have been clamoring for him to be updated or re-released. I think they'll update him, and, you know, with all the aesthetics he's got going on, I think pinless would look very beautiful on him. So yeah, Annihilus definitely up there. Number 9, I got Banshee, and this is pretty much a given, right? Knowing that we got the blue and yellow costume from the X-Men 275 3-pack. We just need him in green, and he's just a key character in X-Men lore. Like, we have to have that version. At number 8, I have Blackheart, and I can actually see them retooling the movie Venom body mold for this, because that upper and lower torso with the double diaphragm joint, would just fit well with this character, and they could probably retool his arms and legs because he's gonna require some spikes and some bumps, and I really hope he has a bendable tail. After the lizard, it's looking promising that if we do get a Blackheart, he'll have that bendable tail. I hope they give him the digitigrade legs or feet because they failed to do that with the Gore comic figure. So this would be a great opportunity to offer him in a 2-pack with Mephisto. After the failed HasLab Engine of Vengeance, Mephisto didn't go through, so they need to offer Mephisto somehow. There's no way they're just gonna let him sit on the bench. And, that's a character that's been highly demanded. They know it would sell if they pack him in with Blackheart. I mean, after all, Blackheart is Mephisto's son, so it would just make sense. So, Hasbro, don't do the fans dirty like this. Free Mephisto. At number 7, I have Beta Ray Bill, classic version. Now, we got 2 Beta Ray Bills, one from Hasbro and one from Toy Biz. Hasbro did it back in one of their mixed comic and movie waves. I believe it was Avengers Endgame. It was a more modern take. And then Toy Biz did them in, I believe, the MODOK Build-A-Figure wave, if I'm not mistaken, and that was sculpted by the 4 Horsemen, and they did a freaking phenomenal job with that. I mean, it's the 4 Horsemen. They're one of the best sculptors in the game, and we need a classic Beta Ray Bill. And I remember someone pointed out in the comment section in my fan stream video that they said the Thor figure from that Thor and Destroyer 2-pack, I believe is the Eric Masterson Thor, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Anyway, the one with the beard. He has the boots. He pointed out that the boots might be reused for Beta Ray Bill, and I thought about that, and I'm just like, the top part may look like Beta Ray Bill, but the rest of the parts were just segmented lines, and Beta Ray Bill had a lot more going on with his boots, but, it was a good call-out, but it just got me thinking, man, we do need an updated Beta Ray Bill. I've been saying that Hasbro needs to give us a full comic Thor wave. None of that movie crap, none of that mixed with movie and comic. A full comic wave is what we need. I mean, they've given comic waves to his other Avengers teammates like Captain America, like Iron Man, hell, even Hulk. Hulk had a wave with the Fing Fang Foom Build-A-Figure series. So, why not Thor, man? He's part of the big 3. So, the comic Thor wave would be the best way to offer this character. He'll just fly off the shelves. At number 6, I got She-Hulk, which She-Hulk is a character that they tackled multiple times before, even in one of their first few waves ever. But the last one that we got comic version-wise was the torn-up one, but we want the spandex suit, and I believe the last one was this one right here. I think the A-Force box set. We need an updated sculpt. They can make her a lot better than this, and I just feel like she definitely needs her classic purple-white deco, but also her Fantastic Four costume. That would be great for a Fantastic Four wave, and you can even fit her classic costume in a Fantastic Four wave. So I don't hate this one as much as people do, but I like that outfit from the Blob Build-A-Figure wave. So even if they redo that one, I'll be happy with it. But she needs expressions. She needs to smile. She needs to be angry. She needs to have a neutral face, a cutesy face, you know what I mean? Hopefully they could give her a good, big, posable body and butterfly joints to do a thunderclap. That's a must. But yeah, definitely She-Hulk. I love this character. It's a must to have her in her classic attire. So now as we enter the top 5, I should have brought this up in the beginning, but this list only consists of comic characters. I have no desire whatsoever for any movie figures to be updated. So I love the movies, but I'm a comics guy through and through. My love for the comics are infinite and absolute. Bars. So if you were expecting movie figures here, sorry, this list ain't for you. However, now that we're entering the top 5, I do want to go over my top honorable mentions, and I at least got 3 of them, and they should have been on my main list, so damn. You know what? Forget about the numbers in this list, man. Just include them all in here. They need updated. But first one is definitely a given, and that's classic Iron Fist. I mean, with Luke Cage being revealed, we're surely gonna get a classic Iron Fist to go with that. I know some people say, hey, the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man body would be a great reuse for that, and I'm just like, nah, because that body is more for like young adults, and Iron Fist is a grown man, so I'm hoping for an all new sculpt for him. It has to be an all new sculpt, at least in the torso area, because he's got that collar that's raised and it's gonna go all the way down to his torso. So I definitely hope there's a double diaphragm joint, because the guy's gotta, he's a martial artist, so he's gotta bop and weave, and even when he's doing kicking poses, you're gonna angle your torso and all that. So he definitely needs that. I think he'll be an all-new sculpt. If they gave Luke Cage an all-new sculpt, he's definitely going to be an all-new sculpt. So I'm excited to see that. The next one would be the Punisher, man. Vulcan body all the way. And if they can, I would love for them to add toe hinges on it. Not a necessity, but just to get some nice kneeling gun poses, that would be super cool. So he definitely, man, see, he should be on the main list, but that's what I'm saying. Forget about the numbers. Just pretend I didn't do this with numbers and just include everyone in here. But I'll just continue the rest of the video with numbers just to keep track. But yeah, I think Paul Harding head sculpt would be phenomenal in a deluxe offering with a bunch of weapons, like a minigun. Give us some new stuff we haven't gotten in the line before. They would make a killer offering with that. And the next one would be, and I didn't want to include him in this video because I feel like we already have him, and that's Cyclops. He just uses the Vulcan body that's retooled, and being that he was in the animated series line with the cell shading, you could just remove the cell shading and boom, there you go, you have it. We need the comic version, and so I just want to mention what he should include, and that's obviously different optic blasts, and hopefully they fix the visors, because there was a lot of issues where the visors was cut wrong, like some was just out of alignment, and they really need to fix that forearm seam, because that's really annoying. It's an eyesore. I even saw it on the Bucky Barnes cap that reuses the Vulcan body, so they gotta find a way to really get rid of that. It's good for characters that would sport a long glove like Punisher, but for someone that doesn't need a long glove, that should be seamless. So now that we're in the top 5, I feel like this is going to be a given, and it's a shared spot, and I'll tell you why, because they kind of go hand in hand, and that's Giant Man and Yellow Jacket. So obviously the rumored HasLab, as everyone's speculating, is going to be Giant Man, and that's my guess. That's my go-to. I don't think it's going to be a Quinjet. I don't think it's going to be Avengers Mansion. I don't think it's going to be that at all. I think it's definitely going to be, they're going to go back to what made their HasLab successful, and that's big giant figures like Sentinel and Galactus, and not go with the vehicle or diorama route. Giant Man, definitely, because Toy Biz did it in a Walmart exclusive wave. I believe that was their last wave. Yeah, that was their last wave. They went out with a bang. And talk about going out big, right? They did an amazing job with that Giant Man bath. That is one of my favorite figures of all time. And now they have the opportunity to make him even bigger. You know what I mean? Ideally, I think he should be 20 inches. But hey, if he's bigger than that, I'll take it, of course. And Yellow Jacket, definitely feel like he will be one of the tiers. So I think it's going to be Hank Pym and his different personas, like Yellow Jacket, Goliath. Man, I hope that tier would be at least 12 inches or bigger. He should be. I feel like, ideally, I would like 15 inches. That would be cool with me. I don't think they'll do a Clint Barton Goliath. I was never a big fan of that design. I mean, it would be cool, I guess, to get him in action figure form. I'll take it. But I was just never really a big fan of that design. And I think a classic Ant-Man, obviously, with the unmasked Hank Pym head, have the Ant-Man helmet, lab coat, hopefully soft goods, right? So yeah, it would definitely be cool to have Yellow Jacket as a tier because he was last seen in the Blob Build-A-Figure wave, I want to say, and that body was terrible. So he's in dire need of an update. The thought of a HasLab Giant Man just has me super freaking stoked, man. Like, I mark out for Hank Pym and the entire Ant family, so I think that's the one character I have the most figures of besides Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and Iron Man. Yeah, I think he's definitely up there with one of the characters I own the most figures of. So yeah, number 5, throw in Giant Man, Yellow Jacket, Goliath, all of them. Just throw them all in. At number 4, I have the Classic Angel, and this one is needed for sure. The last time he was offered was the Marvel Legends Sentinel Build-A-Figure series under Toy Biz, and Toy Biz actually gave us 2 Angels, one in red and one in blue. So let me know which color you prefer. Do you want the red more or the blue more? For me, I want them both equally the same. I love them both. So plain and simple, I really can't choose one over the other. So hopefully Hasbro gives us both colors. The one thing Hasbro needs to get right are the wings. You know, Toy Biz did a great job with adding the dry brushing details to it. It brought those wings to life, and Hasbro can't skip out on those details because if there's no paint, if there's no kind of dry brushing, then he's just gonna look like a shaved bird. And I don't want that kind of look for Angel, so he definitely needs to stick out. And another thing they need to do with the wings is add an articulation system, because Toy Biz, all you could really do with it was move it back and then move it up and move it down. There wasn't a cut in the middle of the wings to have a hinge that can fold the wings down. So if we could get a folded down wings pose, chef's kiss, man. This would probably be a deluxe offering, giving them different heads and hands, and definitely needs a sort of kind of flight stand, a base that you can, you know, plant on the surface or hang it up on a wall like the Toy Biz one. That would come in handy big time. So yeah, Angel, a must have. At number 3, I got the 90s Jim Lee Sabertooth, and this is one that is in dire need of an update because the one that came out in the 2018 Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave on the Hyperion body mold did not work, especially when it was in the same year that the Omega Red body was introduced. So that should be on the Omega Red body. I don't understand why. It's been 5 years from that release, and we still don't have a 90s Jim Lee Sabertooth. It's just like, what the hell are they doing? You know what I mean? 2 ways they could go about it. They can either give him the Omega Red body mold or introduce a new big beefy body that's pinless that'll fit characters like him and Venom, because eventually they're gonna have to make a comic Venom that's pinless. So this would be a good way to just start right now, you know what I mean? But if they're gonna go and just give us the Omega Red body mold for now, then hey, that's cool for now to just have them stand in our collection until they update it. But, you know, sometimes that doesn't fly with a lot of collectors because the mentality is like, okay, you give me this update, but then you come out with another update, and now you're going to force me to buy the same version of the character, but just pinless or whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of collectors don't like that. I don't mind, because if it's a character that I really want and I really love, then, you know, I'm gunning for it. And you know what? Sometimes it's never a bad thing to have the same version of the character in different body types. You know, if you really love that character, it's just a celebratory way to enjoy the evolution of the character in figure form. I don't know what's taking so long. They got the body mold for it. You know, I get that it's hard to appease the collecting community, but sometimes when it comes to this, it's those little things we desire, those, what's the word I'm looking for? The modicum abilities that they could just put in that effort, and, you know, giving us that 90s Sabertooth would just be so satisfying on our shelves to replace that freaking Hyperion body mold. It is atrocious. We all know this. It's ugly. So, oh man, we definitely need an updated 90 Sabertooth, hands down. Number 2, Hulkbuster. This is one that is an essential piece for an Iron Man Hall of Armor display and for any Iron Man fan, really. Last time he was seen was Toy Biz, I want to say Riders, one of the Rider series that they had those little like vehicles. And man, Toy Biz, they killed it with that figure. That was a great looking figure. And I know some folks got the Marvel Selects one for stand-ins, even using the MCU one. But, those don't do for me. This one needs to be done. And I think the best way to do it would be a premium supersized deluxe instead of a bath. And the reason why I say this is because I feel like with a bath and a bath wave, you're going to limit his size almost. You know what I mean? We definitely need him as big as the Hulk at least. And I just feel like, yeah, with those bath waves, he's not going to come out as big as we want him to. I just feel like that might, restrict some proportions or the size of the figure. In a deluxe offering, they don't have to worry about any kind of like restriction because that's going to be a big, bulky figure. And another reason why I favor a premium deluxe over a bath is, well, in a bath wave, I don't feel like they're going to cater to us accessory wise. As a premium deluxe, I feel like you have enough room to play with to give them alternate hands, big thruster, blast effects, give them the works. So Bath Wave would definitely restrict them. Deluxe, I feel, is just the way to go. I want him, going all out to feel like he can duke it out with the Hulk because the Hulkbuster is one of my favorite armors. It was never meant to kill or defeat the Hulk. In that comic where he appeared in issue 305, I believe, in 1994. And it was basically a modified armor of the modular armor, but with enhanced parts. And it was meant to neutralize the Hulk. Not kill him or beat him, but in that issue, I believe none of them beat each other. They just kind of walked away, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Hulkbuster definitely. But what colors? Should he be gold or should he be yellow? I could swing either way. They made the modular armors already in gold and in yellow. So knowing Hasbro, they might do both decals anyway. But yeah, let me know what colors you prefer. But I'm sure that we can both agree that the Hulkbuster is due for an update. And at number 1, again, the rest were in no particular order. But my number 1 is my number 1. And if you know me, then you probably already see this coming, and that is a 90s Jim Lee Magneto. This to me is the one that needs the ultimate update, just because both Toy Biz and Hasbro failed at doing the classic Magnetos. The freaking Toy Biz one was just horrible in proportions, and Hasbro failed the classic version of Magneto twice already. One in the Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave, and then the second one in the Family Matters 3-pack. And that Family Matters 3-pack, I remember I put it in my top 5 in my top 10 2019 Marvel Legends figure list. And if I could go back, I would probably change it. But what's done is done. Anyways, when I take a look at that one, as much as I love seeing it on my display, because I have him with like the electromagnetic field, and he looks great, but looking at those face sculpts, I'm just like, especially the one with the grinning teeth that's all gappy. Oh, they could do better than that. And especially the neutral head, they could do better than that. The unmasked head that they did for the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave is perfect to put on that head. But Mafex so far has done it the best. I mean, Mafex doesn't fail, man. They just know how to do it. And it looks like the proportions are pretty spot on. Could be a little bit beefier, but for the most part, it's spot on. And I feel that Hasbro definitely needs to tackle a new mold with him. They've been implementing the belly rocker kind of joint lately. We just seen it with the animated series Doc Ock. So that's something they can do since his belt is high up and, he has beefy obliques and stuff. So to capture the aesthetics correctly, I'm okay with that. If they can finally captured those proportions, give him some meaty thighs and stuff. Again, look at the Mafex one, man. I feel like they did it correctly. He just needed to be a little bit beefier. That's it. And man, can we get a freaking bendy wired cape? Seriously. So the Mafex one will definitely be my definitive 6-inch Magneto figure. I think the best Marvel Legends Magneto is the AOA Magneto, in my opinion. I just love that look. I love the braided hair. I even have my hair braided, trying to get it to match that Magneto hairstyle. I'll pull it off more when I go fully gray, but I just love that look. And was it a high bar to set? No, not really, because there wasn't really, great Magneto figures. So that's my favorite X-Men character of all time, and he deserves the best figures. Like, they have to go all out with him, just like they did with the Iron Man in the Retro series with the Proton Cannon. I'm willing to pay $45 for a deluxe classic Magneto if they could give him a posable wired cape, a electromagnetic field. That would be freaking amazing. Just give him all the freaking effects. All the hands, all the heads, and you got me. That might not be your price point. That's okay. Everyone has their own perceived value. I'm just letting you know what I'm willing to pay. I'm not saying that this is what Hasbro should set the price as. No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm just, again, mentioning what I'm willing to pay, because this is my favorite freaking X-Men character of all time. So yeah, my number one pick may be biased because he is my favorite X-Men character of all time, but literally, just sitting back and calling it down the middle, I feel like no matter what, he would have been my number one, just because all the previous attempts before Magneto, they were just not it. We just never got a great, epic Magneto figure. It was just like attempt after attempt. It's just like, come on, when are we gonna get the right Magneto figure? So, it wasn't like he was made once before and that's it. He's had several figures, and still I feel like they haven't truly captured him 101%. So there you have it. That was my list of Marvel Legends figures that we need updates on. And now I kick it back to you. What figures you feel we need updates on? Please feel free to add to this list. Make your own list. Just keep it within the category of comic figures, no movies. And as always, comment below. Let me know. We'll chat about it. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace.